Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. If you're new here, my name is Sarah. I make a video about once a week all about makeup and beauty items. I like to find affordable options and focus on using what I already have in my collection instead of constantly buying new things all the time. So with that in mind, that's why I do a project pan every year. So that's what this video is this week. It's a project pan update for the month of October. I had to think about what month we were in. I can't believe there's only 2 months left in the year to finish out this project. I feel like I've been making really good progress on the 5 items that I'm working on. That's how this project works for me. I choose 5 items to be working on at once, and once I finish one, I roll it out and roll in a new product. I don't have a rule saying I have to roll in exactly the same type of makeup product that I just finished. So this year I really was focusing on older items in my collection and trying to get through those and get them out of my collection. But now that we're in the last 2 months of the year, I think what I'm gonna do going forward is if I do use up something in the next 2 months, I'm not gonna roll a new item in. I'm just gonna focus on whatever's left from these 5 items that I'm gonna talk about today, if that makes sense, and then wait until 2024 to roll in brand new items. So with all that being said, if you want to see an update on the 5 items that I'm currently panning, then just keep watching. Okay, so the first item, let's talk about the foundation. I've been panning the Urban Decay Hydromaniac. I have it in the shade 30 Light, and it's hard to tell even though part of this bottle is clear, like this is all clear. It doesn't look like I've made progress, but if you get up really close, you can kind of start to see some like painting going on. I think last month this was weighing in at like 20 or 21 grams. This month it's weighing in at 18, so definitely making progress, and this feels super light right now, so I'm really thinking that I can use this up by the end of the year. I really do enjoy this foundation, and I can definitely see myself buying it again even after I use it up. It's just a really nice light to medium coverage, and it's more like, I mean, it's supposed to be just more like a tinted moisturizer with like a little bit of glow, but I still find that it has decent coverage, and this shade 30 Light is a pretty good match for me. I wish it did have more of a shade range, but in general, I enjoy it. So glad to be making progress on this, and I think this is like the second or third oldest foundation in my collection right now, so that's why I chose to continue working on this. Next, let's talk about the powder. This has been a little difficult for me to pan. This is the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Powder Foundation. This is in the really old packaging. They have since reformulated and repackaged this. I have the shade 30 Warm Nude, and it's just a little dark for me, honestly. But here's the progress that we're making. Definitely expanded the pan from the last month, but since this is a little dark for me right now, I have been mixing it with my e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation. I have this in the shade Light. So when I combine these together, I kind of just dip a little bit into both. It ends up kind of making a good shade. So it's also been a way for me to use the e.l.f. one more, but it definitely makes the progress on this slower. But I'm thinking because of how I've expanded the pan, it is starting, like once I kind of get to this outer edge, it's kind of hard to see. Maybe I can kind of tilt, no. Okay, you can kind of see there's gonna be like a square, another square rim going around kind of in the middle. I think once and you can see a little bit of it right there. So I think once I kind of expand a little bit to that point, I'm probably gonna have to repress this. So I might have this repressed in the next update, but I definitely think if I keep going at the rate that I am, I can use this up by the end of the year. Now for another product, another powder product that I've been working on is my Smashbox Contour Palette. So if you've seen my previous Project Pan videos from earlier this year, I've totally finished panning my 3-pan Hourglass palette. So click the link below. I'll have that playlist below, and you can see like how quickly I was able to move through, well, not even quickly, just the progress, how long it took me to get through that entire palette. I started on it last year, finished it up this year. It was such a good feeling. So I decided to try and kind of pan another face palette. However, the more I have used this month, I'm kind of going through all three at the same time. I don't think I'm gonna pan this one in a traditional way. This highlight shade, it has like it's hard to tell. It has like the slightest shimmer to it, but not really enough to where it's like showing up as a highlight when I use it. Like I just feel like it's not really giving me anything. And then on top of that, it's a pretty stark white shade for me, which I don't typically go for in a highlight anyway. I want something with like a little bit more of a champagne tint, maybe a little bit of like a rosy pink tint. And so this is just not really doing it for me. I've tried to use it as a highlight a couple of times. You know, I did like a heavy contour one day and kind of tried to put this like on the bottom part of my cheek to kind of define that contour, and it just like did not work for me. So I don't know. I'm thinking I might kind of, it's not really cheating, but sometimes if you're really struggling to use up a highlighter or some sort of glowy product that you just are like, this isn't really my cup of tea, but I don't want it to go to waste, I might kind of scrape some of this out and mix it into like a body lotion, and then you can kind of make a glowy body lotion. And so that's kind of a way you can use it. So I might end up doing that down the road, but for now I'm really focusing on the contour and the bronzer shade. So you can see I did hit tiny pan in the contour shade, which makes me really excited. And what I'm noticing about these two as I'm using it is, I don't know if it's because of how old this product is. I definitely purchased this like, I don't even know, 6, 7 years ago. They are super powdery. So like I dip my brush in and it's like powder. So I think in a way that'll help me use it up a lot faster, because it's kicking up a lot of powder every time I dip my brush into it. And so not all of that is making it onto my face. But it does give me hope that, you know, sooner rather than later, I will be finishing up these two shades, and then maybe along the way, I'll make a decision of when I want to kind of start scraping some of this out into a body lotion. But that's the progress we made for the past month. It's hard to see. There's more of a dip going on in this one, obviously, where the pan is. And then this one, there's not really a dip. I've been trying to kind of keep it even, but I don't know. I enjoy it so far. Like, I think it works nicely as a contour and bronzer. Honestly, I just kind of swirl them together. I'm not really differentiating like hard contouring and then this is only bronzer, because I don't really like intensely contour normally. So I'm just kind of mixing them together to make a bronzer shade. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to just kind of work my way through this. And I definitely don't think I'll finish both of these powders by the end of the year. That's just not realistic. But I'm excited to see how much progress I can make by the end of December. And then we'll just roll this into the 2024 project and hopefully finish it up pretty early on in 2024. My last two items are lip products, but I have also been using them as cream blush products at the same time. So the first is my lip liner. It's this Buxom like chubby liner. And let's see, I am down to the OM on Buxom. This spelled out Buxom. So we started at the top of the B. There's like a little lip symbol. It's really hard. It's really faint and rubbed off. Little lip symbol at the bottom. So we started, we were at the top, it was the lip symbol and then Buxom. So definitely made progress. And this isn't 100% finished yet, but I definitely think by the end of November it will be, because I think I can only get this into the pencil sharpener maybe 1 or 2 more times before it literally just won't, like, even though there's still pencil left, you know, there's the space of getting it into the pencil sharpener, and then you have to be able to twist it. And this is just a cap with a brush on the end. So there's really no traction on this. So it's getting really hard to sharpen it. But I think I can sharpen it 1 or 2 more times, maybe get down to the top of the M, and then we will call it good. So I definitely think there's at least 1 more month of use on this, but I'm not hate panning it. I always want to state that. I never want to actively be hate panning something, but this is one of those products where when it's gone, I will be very happy that it's gone, and I don't think I will miss it being in my collection. But it has really helped that I have been able to use this also as a cheek product and a lip liner. So I'm wearing it as both today. I've said before, what I do is I'll just take and draw some on the back of my hand, pick it up with a dense brush and pat that on my cheek. And then that way it's not getting foundation on it, and I'm not putting things that are going directly on my lips then onto my cheek and like mixing, you know. So that's kind of how I do that. But yeah, Definitely at least one more month left, but then it might be done. The last item is also a lip product, and it is my double-ended mini bite lipsticks. So there's two ends, one is a date and one is fig. I have mixed up the caps so many times, so I don't even know which color is which anymore. I don't care. But I did use up the slightly darker neutral side. I mean, yes, you could get in there and like dig out the color. I'm just not interested in that. I used it, it's flat, I'm done. So I pretty much used up that side. So this, again, I used as both a cheek and a lip product. Did the same thing, would rub some on the back of my hand, pick it up with a brush, tap it on, and then use it as a lipstick throughout the day. So I was really heavily focusing on this side and only using the other side occasionally, but I just felt like this was more of a neutral color and a little more in my comfort zone, honestly. But now this side is completely used up. So now I'm gonna spend the rest of the year focusing on the other side, which still looks pretty neutral, but it's definitely a brighter pink than the other side. Let me try and swatch them. So that's the side that I pretty much used up. You can see it's much more neutral. And then that's the more pink side. So it's definitely, you can see the pink. So still pretty a neutral pink, but a little brighter than what I'm used to day to day. But I still think that I can use this the same way. I think this will be a really pretty blush shade too, just being a little more pink than the neutral. So I'm excited to use it as that. And also just seeing that I was able to use the other side up fairly quickly, because at the end of the day, this is not a lot of product. It's a mini size, it's very skinny and narrow. So by the time, you're using it in multiple ways, you can use it up quickly. So I definitely think this can be completely used up both sides by the end of the year, since this side is already done. So really I just need to focus on this for the next 2 months, and that is definitely achievable. So that is the progress that I made on my 5 items. No empties this month, but that's okay. I am really close on the 2 lip products, and then definitely excited to see the progress that I make on the foundation. I think I can use this up by the end of the year, and then just focusing on the powders, maybe by the end of the year, not sure. Definitely not by the end of the year, but excited to see the progress that I make on these, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you're project panning this year and what you think that your last 2 months are gonna go like, or if you're planning on doing a project pan in 2024. Even though it's still 2 months away, I'm kind of already planning and thinking about the things I wanna focus on in 2024. So now's the time to start thinking about it, because it will sneak up on us. I hope you all enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when I post a new video every week, typically on Thursdays. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.